All right, guys, welcome in Difocast number 10. Special guest, Oddball. How is everybody? How is everybody doing today? Hope all is well. I can't believe we're on number 10. It's already the 10th podcast. That means 10 freaking weeks of this. 10 weeks. No, I don't think I have. I don't think I've been that committed to anything. It feels good. It feels good to be 10,000 something. Yeah, we get it up and going, whatever that is. Everybody popping in with the hype. Love it. Yes, it is on the Difo channel. Got to keep it separated. Get everything up. All right, man. So I'm glad to have you on. How the hell are you? How the hell are you?
The car went into the shop after that, spent a ton of money on it, all unexpected events. And in retrospective at all, even going through it all, even though like the waves were rocking, it was pretty smooth sailing, bro. It just, and I say that in the terms of like it made some things hard, but man, secretly blessed through all of it. Like I got my car back. The stuff they stole was kind of whack, but even all of it can be redone, and it just, life's been a little rocky, but it's all unfolding with some ease and grace. So we're pretty happy about that, man. It's all right.
Exactly.
Things
It's
are
all.
going pretty good.
What is the famous quote? Life is what you make it.
Yeah.
Life is what you. My favorite one lately is everything in life is situational, and every situation is what you make of it.
Yes. Um Perception's a deadly component. All you can all you can handle is your reaction to things. But the real wisdom in life comes when you realize not everything needs a reaction.
Yes,
When
that is
you
the truth.
apply reaction to situations that don't necessarily need it or that you're not prepared to handle, then you're you're uh you're holding a wobbly wheel, you
Now,
know,
you need to take a situation and realize whether it needs a reaction or an action.
or nothing, or it requires no attention of mind, because there's some things that are just suckers, energy suckers of situations where you're just stressing about those situations, or your gut instinct about those situations might be wrong because you don't have some sort of like background knowledge about what's happening.
Yeah, but your action
Uh,
could just be to ignore that. It's
that's
still
true. I
still an
guess you could
action to
argue that.
ignore.
Yeah,
You
yeah, I
still,
suppose.
still
I
sometimes in
suppose.
life,
If you were literally doing nothing, you'd be dead. And even that's
exactly.
arguable,
And
that you're
that is
doing nothing when you're dead
ex-
because you're still decomposing and feeding worms. And
and it all
okay,
depends on what you believe in. Some people believe that that's when we do the most.
I would argue for that defense. Yeah,
I never
yeah.
know. I don't know. I may gotta wait and see what
They
happens and see where we go.
Science has measured energy leaving the body when you die.
Yeah.
Now, as that energy disperses into whatever's around it, then that's where your faith or beliefs, I suppose, take hold.
So my
But
last
yeah, they've time, or they've recorded
they've
it
proved a
coming
lot
out
of.
of the human body.
So my last day on the old job, I had a guy trying to push. He was talking about something. I forget what he got on the subject of, but he worked his way back around to try and tell me about how Jesus Christ has done everything for him. I'm like, all right, man. Yeah, we all live our lives, and I was like, it doesn't matter. So, like the pushy thing was kind of what got a little weird for me. I'm like, he's all, what do you believe in? I said, the fact of asking somebody what they believe in, that doesn't really matter. I said, what matters and what I've seen is I've researched a lot of things. I've looked into a lot of different things in life. And what I've come down to realize that no matter what you believe in, whether we have souls that go to heaven or we just have energies that absorb into the earth, no matter what, people need something to believe in to get through life.
Sure. What if what about the people that don't believe in anything? Like the ones that are like
Then there's
nothing happens when you die and then this is all for naught. I wonder what motivates them.
That's what I'm saying. So if you don't have something, they don't have motivation. Those type of people. How often do you run into somebody
Shout out my brother.
how often do you run into somebody that's successful that doesn't believe in something in life?
True. What do you think Elon Musk believes in, other than the future and being the richest guy on earth?
He probably thinks that we're already robots of some silicate form from an alternate parallel dimension.
He said something about how they won't follow the United States rules on Mars because it's a colony on Mars would obey Martian law.
Makes sense.
And that was pretty recent. Yeah, and it does make sense. But you'd realize he's the richest man on Earth, and he's gonna be the first one that makes it to Mars. In a sense of colonizing Mars. So consider Elon Musk and all his weirdness and robotic sort of, you know what I mean, approach to things, and put him on Mars and then write a comic book about it.
Yes.
Before it happens.
Yes.
And then if it happens anything like a comic book described it happening, boom, double rich down the road.
I mean, I feel like it's Elon. He's going to be.
Yeah, because I could see him turning himself into some sort of like Doc Ock or some sort of configuration where he's part robot. You know, he's heading.
Well, like Chad says, he already is a robot.
He probably is, but in the case that he's not, he will be, and he's probably gonna cut his face off, like the Joker did in The Killing Joke, and just wear it across a huge robotic thing. And he'll be the overlord of Mars. Elon Musk is about to be the overlord of Mars, and people ain't talking about it yet. So,
hey, I mean, you never.
And it's probably coming sooner than you think.
So I'd put probably sooner than I hope.
Within his lifetime, I think he'll be successfully there a full time. Now I know it takes a long time to build that, but
it takes a long time to build a full colonization, but to get to the point where he can sustain himself there, that wouldn't take that long.
Yeah, he could have a biodome there by fucking 2024 and a Dunkin' Donuts by 2025, early April 2025.
Well, I mean, if he would just go talk to Jeff Bezos.
No, they don't like each other though.
I know, but Jeff
somebody. You don't wave at the richest guy.
But Jeff made the first
on your way.
But Jeff made the first aircraft that re-landed, right? If you ask him, he did.
Oh man. Well, do you think Elon would agree to that? I don't know anything about that.
I watched some videos the other day of Jeff trying to talk about how his company created the first spacecraft that was able to re-land in 2015, and then there's videos in 2011 of Elon making.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Elon doing it just on a Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah, right. Not having to brag about it, not having to be on CBS.
That Jeff Bezos guy is also stepping down, so he's up to some villainous shit too.
I was saying, anytime a CEO steps down, something's not right.
Yeah, you better check their crawl space because it leads to their bat cave.
Can we find out what stocks he's buying? That's what.
I doubt that you'd ever be able to find that out. I was telling my dad the other day, I was like, the Queen of England owns part of DIA, which is our airport, and it's like way out. It's called. They consider it in Denver, but it's like out in the plains almost. And the Queen of England owns land there. And I told my dad that. And then he started imitating the Queen of England, the accent and all, and calling on like Padre or Podrick or whoever her assistant would be. And he's like, she's not ordering land like the go get the dump from those pilgrims in Colorado because it's literally on our DIA was built on our dump. And so
Yeah, but there's
he's
also
like,
there's
no,
also
you're
proof,
doing
and there's many people that have come out to say about your guys's that airport there that has stuff underneath of it. There's
it does
buildings.
have stuff under it does have stuff underneath it, and that's all factual, and they say that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the airport, the only thing that's weird is the airport then likes to play on the alien stuff. And so now if you go to DIA, there's like shit on the walls that say, are there aliens on visiting DIA? And it's like, why would you entertain this? Because it's kind of like it is true. And the only reason that I say this is because uh not from a conspiracy side, but I worked at the city of Westminster in 2011, and the boss of the meter shop, his name was a guy named Dennis Wise, and he looked like an old military dude for sure, but still had like that military attitude, whatever. Um, and he said during Y2K, he did this some sort of job where he had to check the lights for the runway. You had to check when Y2K showed up or was coming and everyone's was freaking out that the computers are going to take over the world. Can you believe like our parents and shit were part of
Actually
this?
freaking out about
Yeah.
that. I remember hearing
So
about it as a kid, but going,
yeah,
I
I
don't
always thought it
understand.
was just what like they made it up so they could party real hard. You know, that's what I always thought. But they made a whole job for this guy, and his job was to go under DIA and make sure that if something happened and all the computers shut off, that all the runway lights and everything that you need to safely land and take off would still be working, and that they had like backups in place. So he was taken underneath all the runways, and you know how long the runways stretch.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, he said that yeah, there's all kinds of built buildings and storage, and it's like a lot of stuff underneath there, and it's not being used. He goes, some of it is as simple as like boiler rooms and stuff, you know, like things that
Yeah.
would be in the way if they were in the airport. So, anyways, he goes, there is some of that stuff. And they had built like they were going to do this big subway system and then ran out of money for it. So, there are things that just kind of go to nowhere. And he said, but this is what he said that might breathe some life into the conspiracy thing. He said there was military guarding a door down there where like there was some sort of, and I don't remember if he specifically said military, but there was security in front of a door that he wasn't allowed to go into and check, but he had like this special clearance to go through everything else. And he says, so I went like my whole that was my job for like a whole year in preparation of Y2K was working at DIA and in all the underground shit. And he goes, a lot of it is it's huge and it goes on forever and it's really crazy and there are buildings down there,
Well, they've
but
already
they're
come
not.
out with the blueprints of it, of the multiple story buildings that they built underneath of it, and that's why it took them multiple years on top of what it was supposed to get done. But like,
Oh, that's also just a Colorado thing, bro. If you're building something out here, it's gonna take 11 years longer than it should, and the traffic's gonna fucking be bad throughout all of it.
yeah, that's. I think that's pretty much any state anymore. You
Yeah,
come out here to
yeah.
Idaho, and we can't even
It's
build a
a
road in less
Midwest
than
thing.
5 years.
Midwest.
And then we have a highway out here that just went from it went from 4 lane. So originally it was 4 lane to 2 lane, and it was 2 lane for like 5 miles. They widened it to a 4 lane for about 2.5 of those miles, and then about a quarter mile back down to 2 lane, and then back up to 4 lane for absolutely no
Oh,
reason
nice.
instead of
Yeah,
just going
just
straight through. So that's the kind of
pressure
construction we
point the
deal with.
traffic. That sucks.
But before we get too far into the old conspiracy theory side here, because I can go on for days with that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
But as usual, Difocast, we're here interviewing streamers.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So,
What's up? I forgot. Difocast, how you doing?
so first question, best question: what got you into streaming, Oddball?
Haven't you asked enough questions?
No, never.
Oh,
We never
what
ask
got
enough
me
questions.
into streaming.
I actually haven't asked that many questions. I've done
I
more
know that
listening than
was your
question asking.
first question. That's why I thought that was funny. Um, what got me into streaming? I never watched streamers. I had heard of Twitch, but I didn't know what Twitch was. And then as my I had worked traveling across the country for the last 8 years. So I didn't have time to do anything and I just worked, travel. And then I quit that job and I had a job at the comedy club in Denver as a doorman. It was going to be great and I was going to start in February of 2020 and then, the whole world flipped on its head and all that shit closed and so everything that I was like I had just quit a job of 8 years to
Oh,
take it easy and enjoy like a year off basically and just like work at the comedy club and start looking into broadcasting cuz I wanted to broadcast. So that's where it forked off to Twitch because when the world closed and everything digitalized and everyone's like, okay, well, we're all fucking computer people now. And everyone's a master of like, hey, I have every Call of Duty now and all these consoles. And everyone just moved and migrated to the online world. Well, so did I, and it was fine because I had looked like I was building my website and ready to launch multiple avenues. And
yeah.
so and of course, quarantine, especially the first week of quarantine and the first month of quarantine, when you're like, I don't know how long this is going to last, but this is almost like a snow day. So I was playing video games hard. So
I
that
think we
was,
all were at that point.
yeah, and Warzone and Call of Duty was bringing people together. I don't care what you say. It was toxic and this and that, but it was still like, dude, I was keeping sane and normal because I feel like all my concert peeps and all my regular folk had done the same move, and we're all now like in Call of Duty, and we're just playing video games, and you're meeting people that were like, oh, so New York shut down too. And I remember having these conversations of like, dude, you have to have this card to show them that you're an essential worker at the very beginning of the pandemic,
Yeah,
talking to
depending on
people
where
is all
you're at,
this
I believe
shit.
that's how.
Yeah, and how it all blossomed into what it was, like we all went through that together via Warzone. It is
Yeah.
crazy. And so that was cool. And then when I kind of discovered Twitch as another option of getting something done, as opposed to, I can't work at the comedy club. Uh what would they do? What would my next step be? Because I also wanted to bartend and I couldn't bartend. Everything shut down there too. So the next step that I just kind of chose was fucking around, really focusing on the website, and then fucking around with Twitch on the side. And then Twitch became the main aspect because there's just so much that comes with Twitch, like the OBS and the Discord and the, you know what I mean? And so
Yeah.
then I just started trying to get over this learning curve of Twitch and all the shit that comes with it. And and it sucks because it kind of hurt me in retrospect because I focused way less on my website and getting stuff done in a brand way before I got all like, ooh, I'm fucking in the live button and I have like a Halloween background, before I got like
Halloween background. Oh, that's right.
turkey
You actually did have one of those.
forever, I ran it for a long time because I was just like, I spent so much time wrapped up in the little odds and ends
Yeah.
that
It's easy to do.
yeah, you just go in kind of like a hole, and you don't make a lot of progress. You just kind of like find new little widgets and shit that, goofy stuff, which is fine because here's the thing is I'm not downing any of that. All of that is what I hope to continue to do every day. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I really look forward to figuring all that shit out and making my stream better and better. But I didn't focus on my website for a long time because of it. And so I've paid for a website domain for like 7 months now, just for no reason,
For no.
Yeah. So that was my bad, my time management skills and project management. But um but streaming was the way to go because I was like, okay, Mixer was gone. I was buying a computer regardless that I wanted to game on, and I wanted to start broadcasting on, and I wanted to do live DJ shows on. And I knew I was going to be doing everything that I'd want to broadcast, but I was kind of thinking YouTube. And then you discover Twitch is kind of
Now,
easier than YouTube,
now were
you know.
PCs and computer stuff that something that you were already into, or was that also a learning curve for you getting
No,
into
I'm
that?
I'm into it as like, yeah, it looks fucking cool. They put a lot of lights into it. It's great. It spins around. They got a window for me to stare at all the goddamn dust that's in there now. Like, it's great. I had somebody build it. I'm not that great with computers. Um, which like the last 10 years, I graduated high school and then I went to this place called Ecotech Institute and I got an associate's degree in renewable energy, wind energy technology, and then I got a job in the coal-fired power plants, which is like the total opposite. But then I traveled around to power plants and paper mills and nuclear power plants and oil fields, and I traveled all around the country and did that for 8 years. So the furthest you could get from computers, it was very industrial, and so I didn't because isn't just a computer. Like I knew how to use a computer. I would use,
This isn't your
Excel. Yeah, it's not a regular computer doesn't fucking light up like a rainbow. I
yeah.
mean, just put it that way. And a regular computer that I was used to sounded like it was taking off to the moon. It was like impenetrable tower. You couldn't see anything into it. Plug limited things into it.
Took
It's like
20 minutes to
everybody.
load into your main screen.
Sure. Yeah, you couldn't do much wrong with it. So this thing is definitely different and I'm into it. I would love to learn more about it, but the problem with Oddball is I love to learn everything all the time. And this is a lot of stuff to learn. I don't know where to begin, so I'm learning little bits and pieces of odds and ends and like people will ask me what you have, what is your specs on this? I don't know what to fucking tell them. I really don't. And then it's almost embarrassing because some people get offended,
Well, they do.
like what are you like a Kardashian? And it's like, no, motherfucker, I earned every bit of this computer. I just usually in my life acquire things that I see as an investment. For the last 8 years on the road, I was buying DJ equipment and everything like to throw my own shows like big shows, lighting
Okay.
equipment, and
So
everything.
totally
So like
different ballpark.
totally different, bro. And like COVID flipped a lot of that stuff on its head, which is fine because dude, you could almost control the live stream of that so much better, so much less risk and responsibility than having like. Of course, it sucks you can't be doing like a warehouse party, but uh, you know, you can just control things better from a live stream. So I needed this to do everything that I had these big ideas and visions for. And now I'm slowly learning every pebble of that mountain so I can, utilize it all, really.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's no point in being stuck to one thing. Why not enjoy multiple things in life, but have it all?
Hmm.
I
Have
like
it all pay you, man.
I like to get
That's
into
the
things I know
reality
nothing
of
about
things.
and go too
Sure.
far into it.
Sure, but you have to have the time to be able to do so.
What's that?
The
Time?
time to be able,
That's a
yeah, you have to
thing?
have the time to be able to. You're a goof. Uh, that's my problem though. The more I focus on random odds and ends without a sense of direction, the more little bits and pieces I know that don't make up a big picture. You know?
Yeah.
That's and that might not be all our fault. I think that Twitch and we'll just use Twitch as an example. I think it's going to be taken over by the generation below us. I don't think we were the ones meant for Twitch. I think it's actually a younger age group that's not even in their prime of using Twitch yet, if that makes sense.
I
I
think it
think
was
it
meant for the
belongs
elderly.
Twitch.
Just kidding.
Sure. Well, if you think about all the girls that are like body painting themselves, There's a lot of elderly men out there that love that. So
Yeah.
there is a niche. There's a niche for everybody.
I have
But
noticed though Twitch is starting to the just chatting segments are start I think Twitch is going to be a lot different.
monitoring those,
That and I think Twitch is going to be making some changes. It's going to be not necessarily Twitch changes, but from what we see as broadcasts on there over the next couple of years. Because even just in the time frame that I've been on Twitch, and just if you look at the amount of people viewing the just chatting section or
it's the
the pod,
largest. Yeah.
it's gone gnarly. When I first started watching Twitch mid last year, there was almost nobody in the just chatting section, and if they were, it was game streamers stuff like this that were just chatting, and it was a day for something like that. Now you've got even
Yeah.
look at Nick Merckx. He does a workout video.
Does he?
He films his workouts
Nice.
every day now. Like
Yeah.
so, I mean, you've got
Is it him just describing his workouts with the camera up at his face so you can't even see what workout he's doing? He's just like, yeah, you're gonna want to do 11 sets of these, 10 reps.
it's a crappy
Just
angle
his
on his
neck
home
and
gym with
face.
his
Yeah.
overly paid personal trainer that he doesn't
Yeah.
have listen to that I don't know why he's got. It was, but there's, I mean, we're getting everybody with every different aspect. I mean, we've got all kinds of people that are just chatting over random stuff.
Sure.
I watched a guy with almost a
Sure.
million people watching him that was opening
A million people. There's a
Poke.
million people using Twitch in general.
There's like 5 or 7.
Actively watching. That's crazy.
Yeah,
What was he doing? That
opening
garners a-
Pokemon cards.
and he had a million people watching that.
Mm-hmm. It was like
Are these
900 something thousand.
Pokemon cards or is
No,
Pokemon cards
brand new Pokemon cards. He had just bought. He paid. So well, that was the thing. So he paid $40,000.
Oh yeah,
For
$40,000. Was it some
worth of.
sort of gamble?
I'm not 100% sure.
Like
I got a little like, what the hell am I looking at?
were they searching for like a rare card within the? Like, was there a way he could was it like a lottery ticket situation where you buy 40,000 of these packs and then you might get something that's worth buying 40,000 Pokemon cards?
Yeah,
40 grand worth?
I believe it was something like that, and he had a bunch of rare ones in there. He ended up making like a couple 100,000 off of whatever that stack was. It was just a
Yeah,
box
okay.
full of
As long as
stuff.
you can make it back.
Yeah,
That's
exactly. So, but kind of going along the lines of the questions here. I mean, you kind of hit the nail on the head a little bit with question number 2. Why do you
yeah.
continue to stream?
Why do I continue to stream? Just because I want to learn how to broadcast. And I haven't streamed consistently in a sense of sticking to a schedule,
Yeah,
but that's all kind of working itself out because I have been consistent with the content I'm creating while I'm streaming. And I'm on like the 6th workshop of Discord building. And so the things that I felt were holding me up, like, well, I want to get this Discord launched, and then I can bring like the everything else that comes with it, streaming every to this schedule and stuff. But I didn't feel like I was the Discord's not ready. So now I'm just streaming the process of getting that ready even.
hey, that's the thing
So
people like to learn too, though. I mean,
oh yeah.
people love to see that kind of stuff. They want to know how things work.
Well
I'm kind of curious,
it
real quick, on that. If Twitch is true, we got a comment in chat saying that they updated that if you mute your tab, it no longer counts as a view.
oh really?
So I wouldn't be
I did.
surprised on that one.
So what, they just want you to have up to 2 tabs playing noise at the same time?
Yeah, so like if I have, because like right now I've got it up on one, and I have the tab itself muted because obviously I don't want it coming through on the sound of what we're listening to.
Sure.
But it doesn't show up as or I don't know because it may not show up as a view now. But we'll see what happens. It's kind of curious.
I wonder. That stuff, I don't know. I haven't really focused on that stuff in a while. I know when I kind of first met you, you and me definitely were the ones that were like hanging out in 5, 6, 7 streams at a time. We'd have all those tabs open.
Yeah.
And then I think you tipped me off after like a month of that, of like, yo, dude, those actually aren't counting for their shit.
Yeah, you have to actually
Whereas,
pull them all the way out. They have to be open separate tabs to where each one is full video encoding each time. Yeah, it's
the little things you don't know like that. So when you told me that, it was a relief though, because then I could just focus on two people at a time. And then that's kind of dwindled down to like I have the people that I like to watch, and then I'm actively like I'm engaging and making new friends and stuff. But they come very naturally now. Whereas like I had this huge rush for a long time of just people I didn't know and people that weren't looking to create some sort of relationship. They were just looking, I don't know, we're just like passing ways, kind of.
Follow
You
for
come
follow
across a
kind of
lot of
thing.
people, sure, maybe a little bit of that, maybe a little bit of because some of them would come in, you wouldn't even follow them. You don't know
Yeah.
what they're doing, that whatever the case is. But it's it's nice because, well, I forgot what I was talking about.
Well, I mean,
Mm.
it's one of those. I prefer the organic part of it now, and I've gotten to the point where um, I only typically support people that are in the community. I'll venture out here and there,
Well,
but it's
that
when I have
you're
time to.
almost you're limited to, you have to, your
Yeah,
name's on it. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. The name,
You have to care about the community that you're running.
yeah, and I'll venture out sometimes when I have a chance. Time's not something that's on my side anymore.
Yeah,
So when I do have time, I'll pop in. I'll go through the browse somewhere on Twitch. I stopped using like Warzone. I just pick some random game, something that's
sure,
got good vibes, or I'll even go through the just chatting to see or what's going on and just kind of check out and see where everybody's at. But yeah, no, I do. Most of
sure,
my support is just people that are in the community right now, and I've with like the way we've said changing the Difo around to being a place where people can come at any point in time in their streaming career for help, somewhere to be when they need something when it comes to that, and just a place to hang out and meet people instead
true,
of being based around like my name. I support all the people now instead of just trying to hit those affiliates or
right.
non-affiliates.
And I suppose I look at Defo like there's, I don't know, like I look at it from my standpoint as one of the discords that I chose to mingle with that worked out. And because so many, I purged through a lot of discords that uh weren't serving either a benefit, or I wasn't engaging in, or didn't fit the box that I needed it to fit into.
Yeah,
And there's like 7 or 8 that made it, and that's like, and it's similar to when you're like picking your friends in life. You know what I mean? You like, you meet a ton of people, and then you just like, some outlast the others. That's how it goes. And so since I have started, we're in February, and I started in August and met everybody very kind of around the times of then late summer and stuff, or midsummer. And a lot of discords came and went, a lot of people came and went.
yes,
uh I followed and unfollowed shit, and this is what remains. The cream rose to the top. And I say that in, they're the ones that I choose to spend my time into. And I don't even engage with, I'm engaging more with Discord than I'm engaging with Twitch streams. I used to like watching Twitch streams. I was very excited for the first 6 months of streaming to like that aspect and the networking aspect of being in people's streams and this and that, and like supporting as many people as I can, and all that. And you hit burnout doing that. But for some reason, maybe I burn myself out too much on that, because I do still watch streams every day, but it is not as aggressively as I used to. And then I'll notice, like, when I'm in bed at night, I won't I won't turn on Twitch and fall asleep to Twitch. I'm turning on HBO and falling asleep to HBO nowadays. And I used to be pretty dedicated at finding people on Twitch doing that, or you know what I mean.
that's
I
one thing
used
I've
to,
never done is I wanted to make sure I didn't overburn myself on some of that. So like once I was done, if I step away from this computer, I
yeah,
don't watch that stuff anymore. Just so with
that's a safe move.
and I mean this kind of runs, and I mean this is my entire life right now. Aside from the couple days of work week I work right now, even though they are long shifts. But yeah, aside from when I do work, this is my entire life. This is everything that's going on. We pull a day here and there that I go spend some time with the wife, but everything I do
All
is
right.
all around streaming. It's all around gaming. It's all around the Difo. Everything is all about the Difo. And now, like the podcast, because now that my schedule changed, my main 2 days a week, my main streaming is the podcast. Is this here?
So it has to be, yeah.
And you don't want to burn yourself out on it, but at the same time, a lot of the stuff, which I talked to some people recently, and they're always saying, they're like, "Oh, I see you in there all the time." I was like, "Yeah, I don't get a chance to chat, but I'm usually always in somebody's stream, especially if somebody needs help or support." And I also try and find the streams where people, if you watch long enough, you start to learn how people are, and people that'll
Mhm.
actually appreciate that kind of view, whether you're talking or not, and not just the people that are there
True.
trying to
Oh
make it
yeah.
big from nothing.
Yeah, which I still have those. I guess I didn't think of the lurking that I do. I've always been a hard lurker.
Yeah,
Like
I see you lurking all
I
the
still
time.
have that talent, but that's just I don't even think of that. You know, when I think of specifically like if I try to imprint myself on a stream, which I can do, I that's when I'm engaging pretty heavily. And that's when I mean engaging. I drop if I'm trying to help somebody stream out specifically, the way that I do it now is engagement with their chat. Not
Yeah.
less, it's almost less engagement with the streamer and more like me um just engaging the shit out of their chat and seeing if I could sprinkle that on somebody that comes into their chat so they come back to their chat, which I guess that's my form of doing it for others. And it's, you know, it's turned less into like, hey, I'm gonna follow 50 people because you just told me that they need the follow. It's turned less into that because my notifications were going crazy for so long of these people that I was following to help somebody out and this and that. But you know, it's become less of that and more of targeted targeted participation.
Well, that's why we kind of made the change too, or the change happened with like the Diffo community, is because when I started all this, I didn't want it to be a follow for follow affiliate booster community.
Yeah,
I wanted Diffo to be there, do it for others, help other people, and it kind
sure.
of started to go, which wasn't a bad thing. I mean, everybody was there super helpful, but it started to go more towards um, more towards just the boosting for affiliate and stuff like that. And
Hmm.
then we started getting the whiny complaints from people saying, "Oh, I'm not getting the support from this and that." And I'm like, "Well, that's not what
Yeah,
it's about here."
yeah. Then
And
you have to explain to people just how to be a how to utilize a community Discord, and it's like
realize
this
what the
isn't a
community's for. I mean,
yeah
you can look through
yeah
the channels and realize why what a
sure,
community is there for. Look at like the stuff that we have. I mean,
but it's
we
hard.
like this comment right here about how the streamer uh, Ripper likes watching the streamer that donates the stuff to autism. We have people in the community like that. Whereas like a lot of these communities you go to, it's literally just revolved around the main streamer.
Hmm. True, and but when you have to try to explain to somebody
Dude.
how like that's I don't know, man. There's so many of those people, and sometimes they're hard to find because sometimes or they're hard to spot. Sometimes like I've invited a couple people into Difo, including one not too far ago. You know, it was pretty recent, and and I think he's almost ready to go. But it's hard because sometimes you meet somebody for a game or two and you tell them and then you're like, all right, well they were pretty cool, and then you invite them to this thing. But you got to realize like you're grabbing a different chunk of people using Discord. You're trying to grab a chunk of people using Discord and Twitch to do it for other people.
Yeah.
Now, it's cool that you call it that. So many people can read that, not know what it means, not really understand what it means, and like you said,
Or
try
care
to
to try and
abuse.
learn.
And that well, that's the thing. You can't. It's not in their nature to know how to do it for others. They don't stop and help that car that's out of gas or that lady fix her tire. Like there's just the people that drive by and the people that stop. Now I'm not saying everyone in this Discord is someone that would stop and fix a tire, but if they are in this Discord, they are under the veil of uh they're an open person, open to helping anybody. If you
In
came to
some
them, they
way.
would help you. You know, if you came to them with a question, of course, keep it, keep it related, like it's a gaming community, but it's also
It's gaming, streaming,
it's
and any.
it's blossoming from that. It'll grow from that, bro. It's
That's
gonna
why I've
get
gotten to the
bigger
point
and
when
bigger.
I try and tell people. So as far as that community server, the invites are wide open. Anybody can invite into
Sure.
that. But like I've gotten to the point where I don't typically bring it up when I pop into streams and stuff anymore. I used to be like, hey, if you want some help, no. I wait. If something gets brought
Yeah.
up and they bring up a reason like where they do need help with something, and I just like I said, I just wait. I wait and see if certain people
Mm.
I
Yeah, instead of just advertising it,
mm-hmm. And I
it's
just
dangerous to advertise a Discord to everybody.
yeah, and I don't want to have to kick people. I don't want to have to ban people.
No.
It's that community. So Difo is that community that you go to. You build yours. You build your community. You build your stuff around your
Sure.
name. But when you need help with something, and or you're looking for somebody to game with that's not just a bunch of followers and stuff, or just any kind of different thing going on, you just pop over to the Difo community, and you're like, oh hey, this is not just like it's not a fan base. It's not, oh, what can you do for me?
Right. Right.
It's a place to chill, hang out, and then if you do need some kind of tech support, you need some kind of graphic design, you need things like that, we have people.
Mm-hmm.
People that are wanting to help.
And there's some cool people in there. I've uh I've watched many hours of some very good streamers from the Defo community, or the I guess it'd be Defo fam, but it's I don't know. It's just like I said. It's they're the ones that stuck around or managed to survive me and my expectations of where I'd want to spend my time. And I have a shit ton of discords. I'm ready, almost ready for like another purge here.
I know I'm in
But
like 30 of them.
yeah, and it gets way too much. But otherwise, they're just there. You physically can't cut every piece of the pie and give it to everybody, and the pie being you can't split yourself amongst 50 discords and pretend you're being active and all of them are even keeping track of the conversations you're having, or you just can't. So the ones that I have that I'm very invested in, I like. And I also like that because the more you use Discord and engage with certain groups, the more you find it's a small world and people pop up in other groups that you like and that you engage in. So I see all the people I want to see. Somehow the discords I'm in covers it.
Yeah.
Throughout those discords I get to see and keep up with everybody that I currently care to keep up with. And as far as adding anything new to that, that happens organically, but it's been happening. So
Yeah, see, and I'm in a lot of different discords for just to kind of help and support people. Just to get those first few, because I mean, when you're starting a community, and that's one thing too that I've tried to like tell people, you don't need just because I do something and you're in the community, the Diffo community doesn't mean you have to do it. And that's one thing that I've really had a we've kind of struggled with is some people that come in is realizing that the Diffo is not a community around my stream. It's not my
yeah,
fan base. We're all there to help in different ways. So
I
don't
feel like it was that way when it very started.
and that's why I put that I was like, no, this is not.
Yeah, and not that way, and like that it was a bad thing, dude. That's everybody's stream. You're turning a camera on yourself.
Yeah.
So what gathered people was they liked you, and then you had some momentum. When I met you, you had this momentum of like you already had a group of people you were playing with, all associating to one term, Defo already. Like you had already your the wheels were already moving.
I already poured the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, but it was super small. Yeah. Yeah. It was super small, and then it's growing, but it's growing at a safe pace, bro. I've seen Discords grow at a rapid pace and blow up. I've seen them grow at a snail's pace and fade out, and I've seen them grow at a dangerous pace and fall apart. I've seen everything, like yours seems to be going in a good direction with good people in it.
Yeah, and
It's
that's one of those things where it's
all
like
right.
it needs to continue to be that place that people can come to for. That's why we do have the two different servers too. I mean, the main
Yeah, that
fam
was a
ser-
good move.
yeah,
That
the
was a
main
good move.
yeah, the main fam servers for the OGs and stuff for us to go to, and then you have the community where a majority of everything goes down. And like I said before, I don't mind there being thousands. If we hit the thousands one day, that's fine, but
Sure.
it needs to be organic. It needs to be people that want to. My only stipulation, which I've had from day one, and you can go back to my streams from back when I actually started the Difo, is you continue to spread the love you receive.
Oh, I thought it was that you had to like Drake.
Ooh.
Don't you have a full length back tattoo of Drake?
Well, yeah, but that's not the point.
Oh, okay. That's what I had heard.
Well, I mean, yeah, I gotta have something to stare at in the mirror when I'm playing. Yeah, okay, but
Yeah. How many mirrors do you have set up to stare at your back?
at least
You
four.
need at least, yeah, a couple.
I got a walk-in closet. I took the clothes out and just put mirrors in there.
If you had the
No, Nitro, I don't have a Drake tattoo.
not that's funny.
Oh, jeez. But yeah, it's one of those. It comes back to organic stuff. But I've been saying it since the beginning. It's just if you come in, continue to spread the love you receive. If you come in to get the attention and then not do anything in return, I'll kick you out of it. I won't ban because I give people the opportunity to be able to change and become better people. Just
Sure, you're like
because
Jesus.
I wouldn't say that. If people just because you screw up now or because you have selfish intentions at this point doesn't mean you're not going to change down the road. I used to be the biggest fucking prick you'd meet, and first person to. I used to love to
You
fight.
kind of look like a bully, but you look like the softest bully at the lunch table.
I'm
You
the
look like the
I'm the
you look
bully
like the bully that would
the bully eater. I like to
the
bully
bully
bullies.
eater.
I like to
You
bully
bully
bully.
bullies? Oh,
Yeah,
you were that guy.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I was bad
In
about that in
flannel?
school.
What color flannel would you bully a bully in?
Typically a
That's the
darker
question
color.
I want to know. Yeah, dark
Yeah,
blue or dark red.
like
Let's get
like
it on.
yeah, reds and grays.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we're gonna send it. But I prefer, like I said, the organicness to it. Same thing with like the same thing when it comes down to like your stream reviews. If you look,
Yeah, I turned my view counter off, dude. Try that out for size. That's nice.
see, I
Liberating.
view count doesn't really bother. Like I can look at it. I'll stream to one or two people. I mean, if there's
Sure.
nobody
Does it have
there,
no mental effect on you though? It doesn't put some sort of filter on?
no.
I don't know why. I guess I'm just like a pussy, but I have like a filter in my brain that if I'm like focused on that shit, like I really care, which I almost don't. Like I know it's weird. Like the OG oddball knows I don't really care because I'm doing this to broadcast regardless. But the way Twitch is built to manipulate your mind into even their point system of
Yeah,
get 10 people talking in chat. Like I still haven't had 10 people talking at once in chat. So there's I'll watch that thing and it did this evil little thing where it just started fucking with me. So then I turned the view counter off and I turned all of it off.
yeah,
And dude, it's been amazing. Like it's nice. I don't even have it's just I don't know. I don't have something tracking my progress in front of my face, which is nice to me because that
yeah,
usually that's annoying to me because it's like what's gauging my success? You Twitch, or is
yeah.
it did I have a good stream? Did I meet
So
people that I care about? Like
one thing I have a problem with, and I used to think this was a good thing, but I've learned that it's really not. And if somebody were to ask me how to be like that, I wouldn't give them advice.
yeah,
Since I think around late elementary school to junior high, I literally don't give a fuck what people think about me. You'll hear people say that, but I truly 100% do not give a shit. Like
yeah.
if you have a bad thought towards me,
Well,
I'm not going to care, which is not a good thing. So
that's
honestly, caring what people think gives you it helps you. It okay. It's good and bad. Like I said, so I have the reasons why I do what I do. But now when it comes to my physical appearance and things I need to do for myself, I am a little overweight. My body fat percentage is a little higher, but I don't care what somebody else thinks of me when they see me. So it doesn't give me that motivation to fix it. So
Oh,
I'm the
yeah.
type that needs the doctor to go, "Hey, fat ass, you're going to die."
And you're like, I don't give a fuck what you think.
I need a
And
piece
he's
of
like, I'm a
paper
learned
saying, "Hey,
doctor,
this is
asshole.
what's
Yeah,
going on." So that's
yeah.
where I'm like,
Yeah.
I used to, and I all through high school and even up to a few years back, I'm like, yeah, I don't
What
give
were
a
you like
shit.
a hella emotional 7-year old or something? You said at what age 11 you started not giving a fuck?
I just had a bad father that used to bag on me a lot. He used to say a lot of bad
So
things about me.
okay,
So it just kind of,
so you had that all the way up until you were like, you know what? I just don't give a shit.
yeah, I
And
had that
then
all the way up until I
and then
was
he lost
18.
all his power over you in that sense.
Yeah,
So, but then it affected your life
entire
moving
life.
forward. That's interesting.
Yep, and
Yeah.
it comes back to like childhood issues, but it's funny because I used to brag on it, which in high school was fine. It's a good thing to have in high school, but when then you get older, you're like,
Oh
wait a
yeah,
minute,
it's probably a good and a little bit good and bad in high school.
yeah, and I mean
Um,
it. In
to
high,
overly care what people think in high school is the worst thing ever.
yes,
When you think when that's I don't like when the term gets thrown around best years of your life because that horse shit. Like, why would those be the best years of
I'm
your life?
going through the
We
best years of my life right now.
Yeah, people only say that because they realized they didn't have fucking car insurance in high school. Or you know what I mean? Like they didn't need to know what taxes were in
Yeah,
11th grade. So that's why people say that shit. But the best times of
I
your
like that.
life you make later on. But the whole thing is like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, dude. High school wasn't it's focused on like that, and it's you don't have any freedom or power in high school. You don't have any freedom till you move out, and that's another thing people don't realize. Like you'll always feel suffocated, but then you could go be the king of your own castle. So once you go be the king of your own castle, you'll have that freedom, and you'll realize how much other shit sucks, like
Yeah,
neighbors and whatever landlords and all the adulting stuff. But it is what it is, like I don't know. I think you can ask another question, or I could ask you a question.
no, it's all good, man. Yeah, it is. The different talks is what makes this podcast worth it. The different things we get on subjects and stuff with, but it it's one of those things that the Difo community has a lot of different people in it, and a lot of different people that want to have different outlooks and ways they see life and do things. But I've been telling people just care about what people think to a point, because it'll help you drive to a better you no matter what. If depending, because it really depends on how your mindset works. Like I don't give two shits what somebody thinks, but I also am not the type, I don't fight depression. So I'm literally just sitting here in la la land going, and I don't care. Like
Yeah, that's
I literally do this just to help people out. I want it. That's why it was hard for me in the beginning, is being the face when people see me going, oh, hey, that's that. I'm like, no, I'm good. I don't need to
yeah,
be, I don't
yeah.
do this for
You
the attention.
prefer to be behind the scenes type guy.
Yeah. And that's why I think that's why I enjoyed it in the beginning. Cause I mean, you're hiding behind the alias of a name. And I was like, oh, I'll just hide behind the nickname I always had. Nobody's going to know it's me. And then now I'm like, ah,
Yeah.
shit. Now they know it's me. But I don't mind now.
Why do they call you Bear? Is that like underground nightclubs in Seattle?
Mm-hmm.
You're known as a bear.
Oh, yeah. Ooh, yeah. I like bear bot. Yeah. No, so
Whoa,
so my real name's Briar, but most people,
Briar, like
yeah,
Briar Tuck.
like Briar
Is
Patch.
that a name? Oh,
Yeah.
like Briar Patch. What's a Briar Patch?
It's a thorn bush. It's kind of like
A
a,
thorn bush.
yeah, it's a type of thorn bush.
Thorn. You know what else doesn't give a fuck? A thorn bush.
Right. And it's one of those things, for some reason people can't figure out how to say my name properly. And a
Yeah,
lot of it really came
Briar. Well, it sounds like it's from the 1800s.
yeah, and it came more so from the older generation of people. They, for some reason, even though
Sure.
they knew about the name and stuff, they never could say it properly. And
Briar.
then,
What's your middle name? I feel like it would go better with a middle name attached to it.
oh, Timothy.
Briar Timothy.
Yeah.
Not what
Yeah.
I expected, but not too
My
bad.
dad's middle name. But it's one of those things that no matter what you do, there's going to be differences in life. But yeah, a lot of older generations just couldn't say it. And then some of the
They couldn't
generations
say
that
Briar.
could, there's a yeah, they say they call me Bear. And then
Bear.
when
Bear.
yeah, when junior high came around, I got big. I hit 6'2",
Oh,
250
sure.
pounds.
Yeah. Then they started calling you Big Bear.
Yeah, Papa Bear.
Yeah.
No, Daddy
Papa
Bear.
Bear.
Hi, Brian.
Oh,
Yeah, and that's Wise. I used to work with Wise, and the company we used to do is people can never understand the name. And then Briar Bear was a
is that
thing.
geographical? Do others around you have an accent up there where you're at? You
Uh,
are regional, so you would to an east. Let's say, is there any East Coast people in the chat? I wonder if you come across with an accent to them.
there's a lot of East
'Cause-
Coast people in the chat.
Yeah, because I don't think you have an accent, but I also am from Colorado, and so we're Midwest. But I don't know. I
Well,
feel like Colorado.
I'm from Central California, but I'm from the agricultural side of California, so I got a little bit of the calmer, the variety of accents, and then I also got the dealing with agricultural and the cattle side and dealing with cowboys and all that.
So
So it
you're a
kind of
little bit country and a little bit rock and roll, like a South Park episode.
yeah,
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
So, but before we get to this, was supposed to be about you, not about me. Just
Oh no, I wrote plenty of questions. I didn't look at my notes, but I every time I had a thought about like, oh, what should I have a question for Bear about? I wrote them down
no,
so
I'm all for it. Honestly, I mean,
I
like
can
I
look
say,
at
this is
those.
about interviewing other streamers, but at the same time, it's more just talking, chatting. That's what I care about.
Oh, you got to have guidelines for an interview though.
Yeah, I have my 5 basic questions that I ask to kind of keep us in a.
We're on basic. What question are we on? I'm terrible at tests.
We are going on to question number 3. Which I mean, we as we talk, we kind of touch bases on these ones a little bit, but as
Yeah.
far as
You let me talk long enough, I'll touch bases on everything.
right, that's kind of how it goes.
I'll go long roads to a simple point, and then I'll forget what I'm talking about. So,
So,
which
but
has already happened, and it'll happen again. PSA.
I try not to sometimes, but with streaming and stuff, and obviously things have changed. But aside from what you're just the sitting there staring at a camera right now, because that's probably not something you used to do. What has streaming changed about your life?
Um. Let's say, what has streaming changed about my life? My personal attention to electronics and electronical settings.
Electronical settings.
Yeah.
Oh, that's got to be my favorite so far.
So, I mean, I was gonna rock with this computer, like I said, either way. And I've always wanted this setup so I look like Joker, when he's got all those TVs and monitors and shit, and he's like hunting Batman down. Like, I always wanted something like that. And in a studio setup, you need something that you can produce music in and have everything set up. So, I mean, I've been in that vein already. And so the only thing that streaming has added other than stress for real, like, is I don't know, man. And I don't know if it was streaming or if this happened pre-streaming just with the pandemic, but I guess it has just changed my approach to how to run my business. I was going to run with a business regardless, and now I'm having to do it in a digital age. And I mean digital age, like, you can't go get the brick and mortar sort of movement going. I have to get this going with ones and zeros. So
Kind of helps
it's
force you to get a little more comfortable with the whole electronic thing
I mean, it's helped me because, like I said, broadcasting is a big part of what I want to do. And uh streaming is broadcast.
yeah.
You're it's simple as that. And so the fact that it's opened up the avenue for me to actually learn about something I'm passionate about and wanna move forward with, I'm head over heels with it. The fact that it's that I have so many bad days, it's hard to stream for whatever reason. That's like this poison. Oh, my sister's FaceTiming me right now. Hi. But that's like this call from um like it's it's nice that it has moved me forward into a position of you're going to figure this out. You're going to have bad days that won't equate to like any sort of progression, but those are necessary because of the duality of life in general. If I was doing this shit and it was all going so good and going just like all as planned, then it'd be crashing very soon. Now, the fact that it's going like a little up, a little down, a little up, a little down. It's a struggle. I'm learning bits and pieces that I'm adding together to make a bigger puzzle. I gotta thank the universe for that. Like it's moving at its proper progression. It's changing uh the way I look at things, and I hesitate to speak on how it's changed my life because bro, my life is ever adapting in a weird way to my life has changed a lot in the last year, and streaming's been the littlest change of all of that. So I guess that's where I'm at with that.
Yeah,
It's because
I could feel that.
it's about to change again. Like I'm about to start working another a second job because now I got to pay for this transmission. Like it was 7,500 to fix my car. So like that just changed, and that's gonna change my future because now I'm gonna do a little second job in addition to my first morning job. So streaming is going to have to fit around that. And I actually think it'd give more structure and it'll work out well. I honestly feel like I'm on a good path to that telling me what my schedule is going to be,
Yeah,
you know?
sometimes you need that the what you feel is chaotic at first to kind of give you the flow and get you in
Sure.
set in motion to what you need. One thing
Yes.
one thing I really feel that helps streamers or that streaming helps people is learn to how to deal with things on the fly.
Yeah.
When there's a struggle with certain things, because
Yeah.
like as a streamer and stuff, when we're doing these things and you start to have some sort of like when we first started this one, the desktop audio wasn't coming through properly. So I had to flick over as we're talking, just flick over real quick, get it taken care of. That's not something that's ever really bothered me to begin with. I don't mind doing things in the heat of the moment, but I know a lot of people that have been very uncomfortable with that, and
Dude,
it's taught them how to be okay with it.
you have to be okay with it, and you have to hopefully you have people in your chat that'll help you work it out, and
Yeah.
don't be afraid to stop what you're doing and work it the fuck out. I was streaming the other day to an echo in my headset and an echo in OBS, and like all my stuff, my OBS is a hot mess, dude. It's a dumpster fire, and that dumpster's full of like already burnt trash that somebody buried in the ground and then dug up 10 years later, and it's all a little bit rotten, and then they're burning it again. Like something happened in New Year's that changed my settings, and it changed a bunch of shit in my OBS, and my webcam stopped working, and I had to restart that shit up, and that stuff happens. Like it explodes like a volcano, and then all of a sudden you've messed it all up. And so I'm in a rush to get things back to normal, or in a sense of streaming, and I'm 6 streams in of getting it back to normal and still having all these problems. And so on like the 6th stream, I had people in there that helped me figure it out. People were helping me figure it out all along the way, and we were hitting some walls. But I stopped what I was doing. I quit playing the game. I brought the game down. I screen shared my OBS and figured it out with my viewers. So I'm the person that's going to need all that help because I don't know what I'm doing here. That's why Difo's perfect. I've used Difo's voice channels
I say
before.
don't forget we've got tech support in there in our
Yeah. Well, I've used it. I
yeah.
mean, I have used it, and I'm going to use it again. Like
Yeah, we went
but
through a
but
little bit of change. We got different people. Same but different people. But yeah,
Okay.
we just got the two right now, and they're really good with tech support and stuff. So we typically have somebody right now, just about anybody at any time that can usually help. And I try to as much as I can because a lot of this stuff I have learned too. But I'm not going to put a tech support title on me
Right.
as if
Oh
I
yeah.
need any more mention options.
Yeah, seriously. Um learning all that shit on the fly though and being able to do it, it is good. But don't be afraid to ask for help or to take the help when it's given to you.
So
But also,
would that be your what advice could you offer to an up and coming streamer?
no, that's lame as fuck advice. But I mean it's good advice, but I could give better advice. Always let the cop go first. There's
Yeah,
my advice.
up and coming
No.
streamer, not an up and
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, up and coming streamer. Hmm. I don't know. You up and coming, like how up and coming? Everyone here is up and coming.
yeah, first
What do you
starting
mean
somebody that's
like
first
up and
starting
coming?
into
They're not
streaming.
affiliate yet.
No, like they're like they game
They're at the
and they've
start of
met
their
a few people
streaming
and they're just getting
journey.
into streaming. Say they maybe got
Oh,
20 to
okay.
30 followers.
Definitely start. So you need don't oversaturate yourself with information. Go to YouTube. Go find. I wish I could just give you like the names of 5 or 6 people, but you'll see by the views alone and watch some tutorials. Spend some time watching tutorials like you just bought a shitty desk from IKEA and you don't know how to put it together.
Didn't come with
Read
the
the fucking
instructions.
instructions. Yeah. Read the instructions before you start. Will save you from trouble later on. Don't focus on I want a gif of a taco pooping ice cream from South Park on my stream and then spend 11 days on it. And then when you stream, you're not ready with nothing else, none of your scenes work cuz you're trying to get this taco to poop. Don't focus on the little shit like that you want. Focus on getting a basic thing going and then start seeing if you're comfortable streaming and if you like uh if you're comfortable talking to people. If you're an up and coming streamer, you have to talk to people more than ever. I'm an up and coming streamer at this moment and I'm not the best at talking to people, but I also am pretty good at addressing who's in my chat. So that's
Well, that
very
is a
important.
very big key is making sure you're okay with addressing people.
Sure, even if you're not a smooth talker or somebody that really could bring a conversation, address them. If you address them, it means the world. I've often left like chats of streams that I'm in. Not I'm already leaving. Say I'm about to get off and go to bed, and I'll say like, hey, I'm out of here. Have a good stream, whatever. I wait around to hear if they're gonna say like, "Yo, have a good night," and they spot it out. And that's something personally I do. That might be goofy,
I do the
but
same
it makes
exact
me
thing.
feel better. So do it.
Yeah.
Do things that make those people feel good,
Yeah.
and you'll be all right, and it'll make you feel good. And it's like a give and take. It's nice. So, but learn what read, watch tutorials. Don't think it. Nobody knows shit about shit. That's the first rule of advice. Nobody knows shit about shit, and they're all gonna act like they do.
Yeah.
So be careful. Don't let the first guy that tells you this is the way. Don't always think that's the way. Get a second opinion. Do some research of your own. It's just like um not promoting anything here, but it's just like harm reduction with drug use. Or if you're going to like a show and you're gonna, cover your bases first. Do your own research. I think I made basis plural for no reason, but whatever. Cover
Base
your
eye.
bases.
Cover
Yeah,
your base
cover your
eyes.
bases and test your product. Test your product before you put it out to the people. Because a good product sells itself. Same rules go for Twitch. If
There's
you
go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, finish.
Oh, I don't have nothing to finish with, bro. Talking out of
Well,
my ass here.
with
Go ahead.
with like kind of going along the lines of what you're saying too, one thing that I've realized recently, and not something I've always thought about, but recently, you don't or allow other people to help you. You don't need to be a jack of all trades. Allow people, don't waste your time trying to learn something that you're struggling with when somebody can help you. So one thing, like
Well, yeah.
I kept trying to make my own emotes. I kept trying
Yeah,
to,
if you struggle, ask for help.
yeah.
That's
Well,
when you ask for
and
help.
so that was the thing though, is I wanted to learn. I do want to learn. I'd love to know how to do that.
Hmm.
I'd love to be better at it, but I don't have the creativity for that kind of stuff really necessarily right now.
Sure.
So, and letting somebody else do that kind of stuff takes that little bit of stress off of you, and then you can focus on the things you are good at.
Yeah.
I've always
Yeah, I
enjoyed
don't
being the
yeah, I'm
jack of
good
all
with that.
trades because I can do a lot of different things, but having let it helps you and it helps them. It allows them to feel better about themselves because they're doing what they know how to really do. And then you can take stress off yourself by not trying to figure out something that you struggle with.
Yeah, that's utilize the tools and resources available for
Yes.
sure. Because if you try to learn something on your own, I was able to basically the way it worked for me was I would try to learn something on my own. I'd set up a like I said before, a hot dumpster fire of a scene in OBS, and then I would go out and I'd reach out for the help and it'd be amazing what somebody could do when they're looking at what you got. When you screen share through Discord, Discord's a beautiful tool for that.
Yes.
A lot of my IT problems have been solved through this voice calls on Discord, video chats, screen shares. Um, it's just such a powerful tool for that. So but Google is such a good tool as well. Don't be afraid to Google and learn from some like 8-year-old fucking kid how to do this thing in Microsoft Excel or in
I'll let
OBS.
your ego
And
set aside.
yeah, you just got to learn, man. People put the knowledge out there. But fair warning, there's it's the internet, dude.
Yes.
Lot of fake knowledge out there. So,
Yes. If
and you
you
don't want to mess any of your stuff up,
if you're
you
gonna go
know?
and try and learn something on the internet, my biggest thing is try and always look for three different options of the same thing, and
Sure.
find
There you go.
the in all of those three find what matches and makes sense between all three.
Most compatible for you,
Yeah.
which that's a very good thing. Whenever I would order inventory at my previous job, which I was in charge of a large fluctuating inventory list, you would have to get multiple POs and multiple quotes.
Mm-hmm.
And to justify that you're about to spend a certain amount of money, that's how it works in the business world. You get multiple quotes, you explain the difference between the quotes and what you think is best, and you showcase your research, and then you file for a PO, and then they approve a PO for you to spend that money. That's how you can spend thousands and thousands and thousands of other people's money. That's pretty important. So if you are, and I say that, and the only reason I brought that up is because streaming is like a carnival of amazing things you can do, and you'll see somebody stream and they have little avatars walking at the bottom, and you see this and that. So you see a cam overlay that you just think is the coolest fucking thing, and then you start to investigate it, and it's somebody gives you a link from their Discord to code that they just wrote on their computer. Like that's a lot of this stuff is in its birthing phase, talking about like snap camera and maybe not snap camera, but what I'm saying is there's going to be a lot of things that look cool that are just people have just created that shit on their computer, and it might be dangerous. So if
Yeah.
you cannot find 3 versions of this and it's like a game to play on, there's malicious things out there, folks. Be
Yeah.
careful of what you download because you thought it was cool, you think it looks cool, or it's somebody told you you need this extension or you need this or you need that. Use trusted platforms, trusted people, trusted sources. Do your research, find versions of it, and find the one that's best compatible for you. Don't just start adding stuff because you want to see an emote wall pop up, but then
Yeah, I can
come to
agree with
find
that
out,
100%, especially in the
you know,
beginning. Definitely focus on stuff that
It's
is secure and
overwhelming with choices, and then before you know it, you've added 150 things to your browser, and you don't know how any of them work,
yeah,
or they're all code that has little fine print of like, oh, while we update the code, you're gonna try our experimental voice listening thing. Like even Discord's doing this shit. Like, you can, or like Twitch run closed captioning, but it's an experimental feature. Well, the closed captioning is listening to your, learn what you're using, because if you're anything like me, and I could just be speaking from a boomer standpoint, dude. Like, there's hackers out there. Like my parents get hacked all the time. But
oh, there's actually there's
but
constantly everything's being
if these
trying to be
people,
hacked at all times.
if you know what you're doing with computers, then none of what I said is relevant to you. But if you're new to all this streaming world, there's a lot of choices out there. Be careful. Don't, there's a lot of stuff you can do to your Twitch stream.
Yeah, but I
Take
could
your
sit here
time
and feel
doing.
safe that saying 97 to 98% of new streamers don't know anything about computers.
Sure. I
They know
could
how to
say that
turn on their
too,
console, but
especially in this age of I don't know, Twitch is featuring a renaissance due to the pandemic.
mm-hmm.
So, welcome to the new generation of you Twitch audience and you Twitch streamers. And we know you're here until you go back to work, or whatever the case is. Welcome. There's a whole new era of people here. So that's why groups like Difo are going to work out well. I wonder if Difo came out at any other point. Difo probably would work out for the sense of what it's trying to accomplish, but you started it at a really good time. You're going to have people that stay. They might have started because of this pandemic, but there's going to be streamers that stick around and utilize your platform. And there's going to be a big wave of people that come and go. We've probably already honestly seen that come and go from Twitch, of an audience that was here because of quarantine, and quarantine's lifted everywhere. So,
yeah, I'm starting to see. We've got so when it comes to that, I mean, we've even got some people that were here in the beginning that were super supportive. That was I was right. I would say my main people, and
sure.
they're fallen off and gone, and unfortunately nowhere to be found, and I can't see them anywhere. I don't. Their support's gone down. Maybe there's something going on in their life, but and it's gonna
Yeah.
happen. You're gonna meet these people. I was having a conversation with somebody about that recently. I mean, they were kind of sad to say that but remember these people, remember these. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna happen. I mean, you got to expect. As much as I hate to say it, being in the streaming community and stuff like that, you're gonna find a lot of not very driven people. It's going to be spur of the moment people that they
Yeah.
get in and they hope or they expect this to take off. They're like, oh, I see Nick, I see Tim, and this is going to be the
Let
next.
me put it this way: there's a big group of people that that were all on the bandwagon for Twitch, and they just left Twitch because now they're betting on GameStop, and now
Yeah,
they're Wall Street betters. So there's those people that are riding a wave
yeah,
that'll come and go,
and
and
it's
I
going to
think most
happen
of
a
them have
lot.
gone. But I also think that, when do you think, you can't ever classify this pandemic as being over, but when do you think, I would say the shift will happen when enough people are vaccinated that restrictions across the United States and the world have lightened.
Yeah, but the problem is
You
though is
know,
no matter how you look at COVID and then what it's going on, it's not going anywhere. We maybe get out of the pandemic part of it, but it's going to be like the flu. It's always going to be there. We're always going to have
sure,
your
but
vaccine that you go to Walgreens to get, and
the
that's what.
flu doesn't affect streaming. So
Well, no, that's what I'm saying though.
once
So,
Corona gets to the flu level,
and that's what I'm
stream,
saying. So is it's always going to be there, but the hype's going to drop.
sure,
And
sure.
that's where it comes to the same thing with all these new streamers. Is it's the hype in the beginning, and then drops off when instead of
Yeah,
just
I would say then we warn new streamers to just be aware of the hype.
mm-hmm.
They warn a drug addict in like the 12-step program of this thing called like the pink something, the pink phase or the pink mist, or and it's this thing where in their recovery, where they're like newly recovered, and they think that, oh, everything is perfect. Like I've done it, I've accomplished this, I've whatever. And so it's this area where they're very fragile for relapse. Now, that is an area I will pull the correlation between Twitch with. That's where you get burnt out. You get all hyped up and you get burnt out and you drop off. Um, be aware of that. It can come as soon as a month to 3 months to who knows, everyone's different. Just be aware of that. Don't let it happen to you. Take time off if you need to take time off. Stream. Here's a good way to test if you really want to stream or not. Have no plans to stream. Don't stream for like a week and then impromptu stream. Have plan it like we used to take mushrooms just by surprise. Like the best mushroom trip comes when you don't plan it and just your friends like, hey, you want to eat these? So do it like that where you don't stream, and then
Take the job aspect out of it.
yeah, you stream unexpectedly. Don't try to stick to your schedule and then see if you like it then. See if you're still feeling it or if you still need some time off. But people think they have this limited window of how long they have to make it Twitch successful for them.
Well, then you also got the people that
It's
just can't figure out how the in their mind can't figure out how to not make it a job. We've lost a few people that I mean,
sure.
you're just hitting go. You're just hitting go live. I mean, when I go live for my stream, all I do, I open up Streamlabs and I open my chat bot. I do
Yeah.
nothing else the entire time I'm live. It's not a job. It's just fun. You're chilling, hanging out.
Yeah, but people will hold themselves to think about the I think that might come from what they're worried other people are thinking about them.
Yeah.
Because if they're like, well, if I'm doing this Twitch and if I'm going around telling my Uncle Jay, like, hey man, I'm on Twitch. And he's like, yeah, well, what is that? And then you explain it to him. And there's a lot of you people people aren't really knowing how to gauge their success off of Twitch. Like I received a Twitch payout and I was like, this is fucking awesome. Like it lightened me up to like Twitch is cool, man. I'm for it. But I feel like some people can't justify Twitch. I still can't even. I couldn't use that paycheck to justify this as a job to anybody. No
No.
fucking way. Which is why you can't classify it as a job. And if you're trying to be successful in anything, look at your year 10 vision. Don't look at your 10-month vision. And that goes for anything. When I started at the company that I just left a very high tier of, I was a hose dragger. And then I leapfrogged. I did what I had to do and I leapfrogged. And 8 years later, I was running $1 million jobs. It happens. But it takes a lot of time. So focus on your year 10 vision.
See, well,
Don't get wrapped up
and that actually kind of
in,
guides me into my final question for you.
yeah.
What are your future goals as a streamer?
I want to be able to do eventually a daily show, daily morning show. And I'd kind of like for it to be on more than one platform. So hopefully Twitch moves towards that in the future where multi-streaming at the same time's okay. But that's whatever. I could also stream it via my website. I'd like to get my website fully operational with everything available, all intellectual property I have to sell, content that I have made in the prospects of making a living off of. I want it all to be available via my store. So I want the website to be fully operational. I want my Discord to be a place where I'm able to stream things that are not appropriate for Twitch and under Twitch guidelines. And then I want my Twitch to be my morning show. And I would love to do a show every day, whether it's to viewers or not, because then I will be taking that show and taking short-term content out of the long-term content. I'll back all that up to YouTube for it to be long-term daily
Yeah.
show content. And then I'll take the short-term content out of it, but I'll have it. I mean, it's what I'm working towards, and I'm actually making pretty good strides to it. My Discord which is supposed to launch on the 28th of this month, is looking like it's going to launch earlier than that. But I might keep it till the 28th just to make sure it's all perfect. But so things are moving at the perfect pace. I think it'll be great. But like I said, life's about to change again. So according to this next job that I get, my morning show might be at 5 in the morning. And then I work during the day and then maybe do some sort of late stream at night. So I have to wait to see how that's going to be affected.
Yeah,
But
you got to
the
go with the flow to a
broadcasting,
point.
sure. And going with the flow has not done me wrong so far.
Yeah.
Every time I try to force it is when it goes bananas.
Yeah,
But if
can
I
agree
go
with
with
that
the
to
flow,
100%.
you go with the flow and you don't get overly upset about things you don't need to get upset about, and that's in any form or fashion. Don't get upset at Discord. Don't get upset at Twitch. Remember, it's all controllable by you. It's all your reaction to things. Like we said at the beginning of this, that's the only thing you can control. Perception's a deadly component.
Yes,
So
100%.
so keep your eyes peeled on that, and love and listen to reggae music and
Dude, when I get there's a lot of times where I get like in a bad mood and I throw a lot of reggae music on just to calm me down because there's no being in a bad mood around that stuff. But
no, listen to Ayaterra. They're my favorite right now.
I know a lot of people that love that one. But that being said, because I know you are on a
Yeah,
time
I got a
frame.
boogie down to Lakewood.
You got a
They're
boogie.
even making me go to a DMV that's like 40 minutes away from my house in a county I don't even live in. Making me go down to Lakewood.
So that being said, we'll let you get back on your time frame because it's looking like you're gonna need to travel a bit and you're gonna be sitting there right at the end of that time frame. But Oddball, man, I'm glad to have you on. This was a good one. I really appreciated having you here today.
Oh yeah, man. I didn't get to ask you any of my questions, so personally I feel a little ripped off. That's okay. I insist on being back, and if I'm not back by it sucks I couldn't get it pulled up over here, so I didn't get to read no comments. But if I am not back by popular choice, then I'm probably gonna riot and try to, what the kids say, dox you somehow. So watch out. Yeah, I don't really know what that means, and I hope it doesn't mean we're touching tips. But I'm gonna hurt your computer, bud. Yeah, I'll fiver it if I have to.
No, definitely.
But I want to be back before you hit 100 episodes.
Definitely. So that's one big thing is we're in the early stages of these first few ones right now. So these main ones will be, so it's all basically revolved around streamers. These first few are just going to be mostly just interviews. But I'm thinking probably around after the 30 to 40 round mark is when we'll start getting a few. Once a month we'll do like a repetitive, maybe we'll get a repeat in. So start going through there and then just
returning guests, bro. You could have returning guests, and you could do like, you could even do it where it's like, you have like 8 people sharing a screen here, like a Zoom call, and you're interviewing all of them, like updates.
Yeah, we'll eventually do a big one.
What are the Housewives of Atlanta up to this year when they do those recap shows? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we're going to have to do something like that once things start getting a little bit bigger. As far as like when the Difo gets bigger and stuff, we're going to need to do a big podcast with quite a few people anyways. But like I said, that being said, I did absolutely loved having you on today. I appreciate you coming in, and
thank you.
We will see you again in the near future. To all of those you out there watching right now and those that are listening on the podcast later on, I appreciate all of you helping with those views. But where we're at right now, that's going to end Difocast number 10.
Rest in peace, Andre the Giant. See you later, man.
See you guys.